person in the United States
shall, on the ground of race,
color, or national origin,
be excluded from participation in,
be denied the benefits of,
or be subjected to discrimination
under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance.
Hello, I'm Jim Vance. Decades have passed since the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I Have a Dream speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial here in Washington, D.C. But discrimination is still a problem in these United States. And discrimination prohibited by Title VI can be among the most difficult, yet important to recognize and understand. It means that all people in this country are entitled to equal treatment by federally funded programs or services, be they police, parks and recreation, education, healthcare, transportation, or anything else. If services like these receive federal financial assistance and the people operating the programs withhold their benefits from people or treat certain people differently because of race, color, or national origin, discrimination prohibited by Title VI may be involved. It was President Lyndon Johnson who signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. At the time, many people called it the most important piece of civil rights legislation since the Emancipation Proclamation outlawed slavery about 100 years earlier. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 aimed to end discrimination based on race, color, or national origin. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act specifically focuses on programs and activities that receive federal financial assistance, often in the form of grants. The money can go from the federal government to state governments or departments to local governments or departments. It can also go from the federal government directly to state governments or departments, or from the federal government directly to local governments. Sometimes federal aid goes to programs that are non-governmental entities, like corporations or nonprofit groups, either directly from the federal government or through state or local governments. These non-governmental entities will then be covered by Title VI, as will the state or local government entities.
The second one would be...
It's not just money that qualifies as federal assistance. It can also be the provision of valuable services, training, commodities, and land, and personal or real donated property. Some 30 federal agencies provide federal financial assistance. All the operations of a department that receives the aid must comply with Title VI, not just the branch using the assistance. For example, if a state's Department of Corrections uses money to improve one particular prison, the entire Department of Corrections must be in compliance with Title VI, not just the one prison. The goal of Title VI is voluntary compliance, and recipients must be given opportunities to voluntarily comply when violations are found. But if that cannot be achieved, federal financial assistance may be withdrawn. And the top priority is preventing discrimination in the first place. But to do that, you must understand the requirements of Title VI. First of all, Title VI covers race, color, and national origin discrimination. Other types of discrimination, like sex, age, and religious discrimination, are covered under different federal civil rights statutes or other parts of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Title VI protects individuals, groups of people, and in some instances, entire communities. Violations can occur when services or opportunities are flat out denied, or when services are not equally provided. For example, it may be that the streets in a minority neighborhood are not maintained as well as those in the non-minority side of town. In this instance, if the local government agency overseeing street repairs receives federal financial assistance, it may be in violation of Title VI. Or it could be that people seeking or receiving services are treated differently without justification. For example, minorities applying for food stamps are asked to show extra forms of documentation and make a stronger case for themselves than non-minorities before being granted enrollment in a program. Sometimes what is not done violates Title VI. For example, if a program that receives federal funds is not adequately equipped to assist people who do not speak English, that may be national origin discrimination. We'll talk more about that later.